Level 1, the farmer. You're standing in a field in Mesopotamia, 4,000 years before smartphones exist. The grain needs threshing. The irrigation ditch needs repair. You know this. Everyone knows this. But you sit under a tree instead. You tell yourself you'll do it after the heat breaks. A scribe walks by. He's writing something down on a clay tablet. You don't know it yet, but he's complaining about you. Literally. Archaeologists later dig up that tablet. It's a to-do list with a note scratched next to your task. Still not done. That tablet is 4,000 years old. Turns out you're not lazy. You're ancient. Level 2, the philosopher. You're in Athens now, 350 BC. You have a name for what you do. Akrasia, acting against your own better judgment. Aristotle is writing about you right now in a room 3 streets away. He says you know the good, you even want the good, but somehow you still don't do the good. He's not describing a flaw in your character. He's describing a bug in the human operating system. And this bug is old. This bug predates Rome. This bug predates writing itself, probably. But here's the twist. Back then, nobody thought it was a bug you could fix with an app. They thought it was a war between 2 parts of your soul, and they thought you were losing. Level 3, the monk. It's the 4th century now. You've joined a monastery in the Egyptian desert. No distractions here. No phone, no scrolling, no notifications. Just silence, prayer, and the task in front of you, and yet you still can't focus. Around noon, a strange heaviness falls over you. The monks have a word for it, acedia, the noonday demon. It doesn't feel like laziness. It feels like the sun itself is pressing down on your motivation. Your fellow monks describe it exactly the way you'd describe a lost afternoon of doom scrolling. Restlessness, dread of the work ahead, sudden, urgent interest in literally anything else. One monk writes that acedia makes you stare at the door and the window every few minutes, sure that something more interesting must be happening outside. There is no outside. There's just desert. But the demon doesn't care. 1,400 years before Twitter, monks are describing your Sunday night before a deadline with terrifying accuracy. Level 4, the printer's apprentice. 15th century Germany, Gutenberg has just built the printing press, and suddenly, for the first time in history, deadlines actually mean something to ordinary people. Before this, most work ran on the sun and the seasons. Now a print run has a date, a shipment has a date, and you, the apprentice setting the type by hand, discover a brand new feeling. The panic of a deadline that doesn't move for you. You push the job back one more day, and one more day after that. Your master finds letters, real letters from this era, merchants apologizing to each other for late shipments, for unfinished ledgers, for promises not kept. The excuses sound almost exactly like yours. The ink was slow to dry, the roads were bad. You get the sense that as soon as humans invented the schedule, they invented the art of dodging it. Level 5, the Enlightenment writer. Fast forward to 1751. You're Samuel Johnson, one of the most brilliant writers in England, and you are 2 years late on delivering an essay you promised a magazine. You sit down, and instead of writing the essay, you write about why you haven't written the essay. You call procrastination one of the general weaknesses which, in spite of the instruction of moralists and the remonstrances of reason, prevail to a greater or less degree in every mind. Translation: everybody does this, and everybody feels terrible about it. Johnson becomes one of the first people in history to put the actual word procrastination into print and dissect it like a disease. He describes lying awake at night, promising himself tomorrow will be different. Tomorrow comes, nothing changes. This is 1751. This is 270 years before anyone invents a to-do list app that also fails to fix this. Level 6, the industrial worker. It's 1850 now. Factories run on clocks, not sunlight, for the first time in human history. A bell rings and you're expected to be at your station, not gradually drifting there when the mood strikes. This is new, this is jarring. Workers riot over clock time. Not because they're against working, but because for the first time, time itself feels like a manager standing over your shoulder. Historians will later call this the birth of clock discipline, and it's the exact moment procrastination stops being a private, philosophical failing between you and your soul and starts becoming a public, measurable, punishable offense. Miss the bell, lose the wage. The noonday demon just got a boss. Level 7, the office worker, 1950-something. You've got a typewriter, a rotary phone, and a stack of paper on your desk that isn't getting any smaller. Psychologists start studying you specifically now. Not monks, not philosophers, actual scientists with actual data. They coin new terms. Task aversiveness, temporal discounting, the idea that your brain values a reward today far more than the exact same reward tomorrow, even if tomorrow is objectively better for you. Researchers run early experiments and find something uncomfortable. It's not that procrastinators are undisciplined people. It's that every human brain is wired to prefer the smaller thing right now over the bigger thing later. You're not broken. You're just running the same ancient software as the farmer, the monk, and Samuel Johnson, except now someone is measuring it in a laboratory instead of a diary. Level 8, the digital native. 2007, you get your first smartphone. This is the moment everything speeds up. Before, your distractions were a window, a door, an idle afternoon. Now your distraction fits in your pocket and is specifically engineered by teams of behavioral scientists to be as hard to put down as possible. Notifications ping every few minutes, each one a tiny dopamine hit, each one a fresh excuse to push the real task 10 more minutes. Surveys start finding that the vast majority of people procrastinate regularly, and a huge chunk call themselves chronic procrastinators. The noonday demon didn't die, it just got a push notification and 40 million users. Level 9, the modern scientist. Today, researchers scan your brain while you procrastinate, and here's the twist nobody saw coming. It isn't a discipline problem, it's an emotional regulation problem. Your brain treats an unpleasant task the same way it treats a physical threat, and the amygdala, the same part of your brain that handles fear, lights up. Avoiding the task isn't laziness, it's your brain protecting you from a feeling. The same way it protected the monk from the noonday demon, the same way it protected Samuel Johnson from an essay he was terrified wouldn't be good enough. You are not lazy, you have never been lazy. You are 4,000 years deep into the same unbroken chain of humans who knew exactly what needed doing and did something else instead. Level 10, the pattern. Zoom all the way out and look at the whole timeline. A Sumerian farmer under a tree, a monk staring at the desert door, a merchant blaming bad roads, a writer publishing his own confession 2 years late, a factory worker rioting against a bell, a scientist watching a brain scan light up with fear instead of laziness. Different centuries, different tools, different excuses, but the exact same bug, running quietly in every human mind for the entirety of recorded history. So did humans always procrastinate? Yes. Every single era we have written records for, going back 4,000 years, shows the same fingerprint. This isn't a modern failure caused by phones or laziness or a broken generation. It's one of the oldest, most consistent features of being human. The tools changed. The clay tablet became a text thread. The noonday demon became a red notification dot. But the war between what you know you should do and what you actually do in the next 5 minutes, that war has been running since before anyone invented a word for it. You didn't inherit a flaw, you inherited an entire species' oldest habit.